In this episode, we're going to be changing the cams. We're going to put 585 cams from Lloyd's and install them in the Sport Chief. So again, we're putting these cams in a 116. They're 585 cams. They go in 116, 111. Anyway, the kit comes with, the instructions, the 3 cams, a gasket. What we had to purchase separately was this plate to pull the cams out so the lifters don't fall. And that is IMC 950 from Lloyd's. And then these are extra. You don't have to get these. You can use like a drill bit or maybe a small punch and get the gears aligned. You'll see that when we remove them and reinstall them. And the specialty socket with the notch. So those are the parts you'll need. Again, you don't have to have these, of course, but they are handy and they're nicely built. So nice job, Lloyd's. All right, let's get into removing the old cams. All right, first thing first, we'll go ahead and remove the seat so we can get to the battery. Next, we'll go ahead and take the ground off. All right, next we're going to go ahead and pull the spark plug wire. We'll go ahead and then pull our spark plugs. This will help with getting the cams aligned. Cover those. All right, next we'll go ahead and take off the foot peg. All right, next we're going to take the cover off, and I've made a box that basically will have the sequence for torquing, but also where they went. And the reason why is because some screws are longer than others, just to make it more simplified and quicker. All right, I wanted to show this step because my cover did not come off right away. I didn't want to mar this finish, but I had to use my soft blow hammer and kind of knock on this around until it physically popped off. I had to give it a pretty good hammering, actually, to tell you the truth. That's why I have the tape on there. I didn't want to ruin the finish of the powder coating. So anyway, kind of want to show that. Comes off easier now, of course, because it just finally popped off. I do have some rags for the oil that's down there. And next we'll start removing things. All right, we got the cover off. And now we're going to go ahead and take off the cam tensioner off. This is 6mm. Okay, remove that, put that to the side. All right, next we're going to rotate the camshaft around until we get top dead center and our chain is matched, which could take up to 33, 34 times. All right, I've got my marks lined up. I've got the black colored chain on my one mark here. And then there's a tiny little dot right here on this mark. There's a tiny little dot right there. Hopefully you can see that. The tiny little point right there. And then on the bottom side, there's a tiny, tiny, tiny dot right there. I'm going to go ahead and mark this with a a gold paint pen just so I can see it better. But those are those marks. And again, up here, you got this mark that lines with that mark, that little dot. And then this hash mark with that black chain. Next, we're going to remove the cam chain guide. That's a 10 millimeter. We'll pull this and put to the side. All right, next we'll unload the tensioner. I just used the drill bit with tape on it, loosen our bolts. I did use an impact to start it. I put T for top, B for bottom. Not that it should matter. Pop that bolt out, move it to the side. There's a keyway here on the bottom gear. Which is right here. All right, next we'll take these bolts out. All right, I've already loosened these with an impact. Once we remove these bolts, we'll put them to the side. Next, we'll take the 4 bolts out, which this one's already been taken out because that's the cam for this tensioner. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, next we'll slowly pop this plate off. Oh, it came off easy peasy. Okay, make sure those stay in. Make sure those cams do not pop out. Push them back in. Just take your time, because I know I am. Okay, slowly. There's friction on the cam itself with the plate, but just take your time. Don't want the cam to pop out. At least I don't want it to pop out. Okay. And that should just slowly come on out of there, just like that. Okay, let's put this to the side. Okay, this is where that LLOYDZ tool, this will go into, this is the LLOYDZ tool for the gear, but this piece will fit into this gear half, and that fits right over. And once you get it into the gear, we will then tighten this down, and it should pop right on off. And the cool part about this tool is you should be able to keep it on there the whole time. And slowly, hopefully start popping these off. shit. Oh, fuck. Please, 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 please. Okay. That's the front. And this one's wanted to come out already. Okay. There's the middle one. And here's the aft. Okay, let's get the next tool installed. Just like that. Okay. All right, let's get this installed. All right, with the gears removed, we will now install the LLOYDZ CAM removal tool. Get that mounted in there. Okay. All right, and that's the tool installed. Next, we have the specialty tool from LLOYDZ. I'm sure you can make your own. It is a 7/8 socket, but it actually goes over the keyway, and it's genius. And the main reason for this is so we can get that lifter in place. There it goes. There's the first one. You hear it kind of pop. And now that cam is free. We'll do the next one over here. Get some tension. There it popped. Perfect. And then this baby. All right, I literally just turned this piece real quick. The spacer, I made it really fast. Put on my lathe really quickly. And had to drill a hole for that dowel right there. And so that can go into this cam and bolt this in. This will give me the ability to move that cam and pop these two in. All right, so I've taken my cheater and made sure that these are both in. They did snap in. It's just scary because I don't want to make sure, I want to make sure that those are in, right? They feel like they're in. It's just a little scary because you don't want to pull that fucking cam out and be fucked. All right, with all of our pins in, I feel confident that we can now call that the removal process. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and start removing the cams. I'll move the rear one. That's going to be your rear Indian cam. And pull that out slowly. Put that to the side. Put some lube. Assembly lube on this. Remove the front. Carefully pop that one out. Make sure we retain the keyway. And we'll pop this baby in. Okay, that one's installed. Okay, now we'll take the last cam out and go ahead and place that in its box. We'll go ahead and lube up the other cam with assembly lube. All right, and there we go. All right, so we're gonna now take our pins out, which I've already taken these two out. Basically, you're gonna rotate this forward and aft, pull these two pins. Now there's tension on that cam. Next, we'll take our specialty tool and rotate these. Okay. And now we have that cam in place. And now we can pull this one. Again, I'll put the keyway back in it. You gotta be careful because these keyways will pop out and fall. I've already had one do it. I got the keyway in, put my socket back on. I'll use it to get my other pin out. Now it's out and the cam's in. All my pins should be loose. And now we can take off our mounts. All right, next we'll take the plate off because the new cams are in. All right, so we'll move this to the side. Beautiful. All right, first and foremost, make sure our keyway is back on, which is right here for the center one. And we'll slide our gear back on. All right, we've got our gear back on, and we'll go ahead and put our spacer here with my little dowel point. Again, I made this homemade little dowel, or spacer, excuse me. So these are split gears, and you can put a pin. I don't know if you can see that hole, but there's a hole that goes through to the other side hole. There's two holes. This hole, and then the next gear set has a hole. And what this tool does allows those holes to stay there. And we'll be able to put this sucker right back on, like how we took it off. So that's why this tool is pretty handy. Thank you, Lloyd's. All right, so I wanted to show you, I didn't tighten this all the way down, and you can see that the gears are split. So this tool, what you do, you just tighten this baby down, and it'll bring those gears right in alignment. And so now these gears are in alignment right here. If not, you have to get a punch and kind of get it through this hole from one side to the other. That's why this tool is pretty handy. They should slide right on and off. All right, so I want to take a moment. Of course, the video didn't finish me actually installing these cams because one of the lifters dropped in the bike, and that became another animal within itself. What happened was I kept on putting in the cams, and then put the gear set in, and the gear set wouldn't match. They were off. And the LLOYDZ tool for the gear set is an actual awesome tool. We had bought two of them because my buddy bought one and I bought one. And so that worked great, right, for the gear sets to match up to the intake gear. But what kept on happening, and it's no fault of LLOYDZ tool, but the Indian tool has a receiver part of this tool. I couldn't find the Indian tool, so we ordered the LLOYDZ tool. And on the back side of the tool, you have these little notches here that hold the lifter up. And the tube, of course, on the outside, your exhausts are fairly simple. But what happened was this actual lifter didn't seat all the way. It fell, and all of a sudden now I was having to take the motorcycle apart. I'm sure you've seen other videos about doing these intakes, or excuse me, these cams, and they'll mention that, hey, don't let the lifter fall. Yeah, don't let the lifter fall. So what got that happening though was when I had the tool in, and I was turning this cam, it was starting to cock on me a little bit like this. And I was fighting it as I was turning it because I'm trying to turn the lifter, of course, to lock it into place. And it kept on kind of dropping. Well, the bearing inside the engine also kind of cocked. So I was fighting those two things. So the Indian tool actually has, like I said, a receiver that locks into here.
and that keeps this bearing surface locked into place so it can't move. So when you're using this tool, it's a good tool. Just be wary of this cam to possibly caulk a little bit, and be careful that you actually have the lifter seated on the slip. These should automatically lock in, but I'm just saying is I would get a light in there to make sure they don't drop when you're changing your cams out. The changing of the cam is actually a fairly simple process. It's just if you lose a lifter, it's pretty much over. You got to take the whole bike apart. So that's why you didn't see me finish the actual install of the cams. It became a complete shit show in a matter of minutes. And the other part of these tools here, they work really well. They do work with the keyway, and you turn your cam around like such, and that works really well. I did make a add-on tool so I could turn this cam, and that was for the pin itself. It just fits right into the pin, and then I can move this cam around. So that's my little 2 bits on this tool. Like I said, it's a good tool. It's just you got to be wary of that this cam could drop just a hair and cause you some issues when you're trying to lock in those lifters. With that, the cams themselves from Lloyd's are a beast. If you ever do drop those lifters, you're pretty much screwed, because you've got to basically take the tire down, take the swing arm out. You got to take this bolt out, these bolts out, these bolts out of this frame, take the frame off basically on this side. You got to take out these bolts here in the front of the engine, and this will drop enough and swing out enough that you can take this cover off. Luckily, it was on the front cylinder intake, not the aft, because if it was the aft cylinder, we would have had to drop the whole motor. So I got lucky somewhat, just because of the intake lifter that dropped was the forward one, and we were able to get to it once we dropped the engine and swung it out a little bit. It was an extra 2.5 hours, probably more, to do it that way. So I wouldn't recommend it. So I wanted to give my little 2 bits on the tool, just let other people know about it. Again, it's a good tool. It's just got to be, cognizant of that actual cam lower portion of it is not being held up by anything like the Indian tool, cam tool. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and take this sucker outside and crank it up, let you hear it. Hey, before I leave about this tool, I'm trying to figure out how to rent the tool out and make a few bucks off of the investment that we made on the tool. But if you guys have any input on that, any comments you could give me about how to rent the tool out to somebody who might need it for their bike, let me know in the comments below, and I really appreciate it. All right, we're going to take the bike out and crank it up and let you listen to it. All right, to finish up this video, we're going to talk about what we've done to the bike. Of course, we've done the LLOYDZ cams, 585 cams. We did the LLOYDZ intake, which is another video we've put out there. On this side over here, we put the Sawicki Speed exhaust. And other than that, we did the LLOYDZ tune. And this thing sounds like a rape tape, man. I mean, it's pretty awesome. Here we go. So with that, this ends this video of me trying to install the cams on video. We did take them out, so at least we did that part. But other than that, This is a beast. This thing rock and rolls. We've done some other upgrades. We've done some. We put a LP6 light on it, and just a few other odds and ends. We did the risers. That's another video we put out. We got the light. That's another video we put out. And we've also done the. I think it's called the tiny trim light thing for the back. Anyways, check it out, and we'll see you in the future videos. All right. Like and subscribe below if you don't mind, and if you have any comments, if you like it, dislike it, whatever we've done here, put them in the comments. I appreciate it. All right.